Good evening. I'd like to call a meeting to order. This is the September 27th, 2023 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. We start with a bit of continued business from our last meeting. Atlantic Millwrights Incorporated have asked for an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. The address is 55, 75, and 77 to 81 Phoenix Avenue. They were here with a plan, and we asked for a few more additions of information to the plan. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Troy Stearns, representing Civil Design Consultants Incorporated on behalf of Atlantic Millwrights Incorporated. I'm here regarding the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for 55, 75, and 77 Phoenix Avenue, continued per the Commission's request on September 13th. In the previous meeting, like you said, to provide topography and show the base flood elevation near the frontage of Wentworth Ave, as well as the northern portion of 77 Phoenix Ave, and to also provide relevant buffer areas pertaining to the bordering vegetated wetlands. We recently submitted a new existing conditions plan with the revisions requested and also updated property lines consistent with an ALTA filed by this office. I now invite the board to ask any remaining questions.
Okay. I thought the plan was just as complete as I think it could be, and probably the best plan we've had of those properties in the last 30 years. It's got just about everything on there. So that's what I was looking for. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, it's a very disturbed site, and even the part of the site that you hadn't put contour information on before must have been disturbed 40 years ago because of the size of the trees and everything that are over there. So we now have a very good picture of even the portion that is not developed yet. So I think we have what we need to issue the ANRAD. I did visit the site today, and I do have some concerns. I don't know if you're probably not the right person to address the concerns to unless the owners are here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
We have Kirby and Mike Kirby here.
yeah, I'm not sure if those are separate tenants on the property, but for instance, the front parcel appears to be well taken care of as far as, appreciating the wetland boundary and not encroaching on that. The second property in, the one in the middle, if they are separate properties, has some issues that I'd like to see addressed. I'm not sure if we need to issue a formal enforcement order, but it has a lot of loose materials that are way too close to the wetland boundary. Not large piles, but small piles of sand and things like that that could wash into the wetland. And if they do need to be stored on the property, they should be further away from the wetland and perhaps covered so they're not washing into the wetland area. That second parcel in, or the second business in, also appears to have quite a bit of loose debris, like in the form of things that could fly with the wind and end up in the wetland. And also there is a very distinct border, which is helpful to us right now because there hasn't been any encroachment as far as trying to increase the usable land there for a long, long time. But that border has some materials that are also beyond it and kind of leaning up against the, what do you call those big blocks? So there is a little bit of encroachment of materials that way too. And these are not permanent things. As far as I can see, it's stuff like wheelbarrows and pieces of metal and things like that that really need to be pulled back away from the wetland so that it doesn't end up in the wetland where it's very difficult to remove. And the rear property, I'm not looking at the property lines,
right
but the
here.
rear business there, the building, there's a break in the block wall to the rear that's supposed to be protecting the wetland where those huge cement blocks are defining the edge of the parking. And a couple of them seem to have been moved aside, and there's things being pushed in there. Dirt, soil, I don't know what all. So those are the things that concern us on an ongoing basis. It doesn't have anything to do with why you're here tonight, but in an ongoing situation, we might be compelled to give you an enforcement order and ask you to do something about that immediately. I'm hoping you can do something about it without having to go through that formal step.
Sure. So Jim Hanley, Civil Design Consultants. I just kind of want to give you some context. This is our first stop, is with you to define floodplain and the wetland line.
Right.
Our client has the property under agreement. They're scheduled to close middle of October. And we'll be in the process of putting together site plans to,
Yeah,
lack of a better phrase, kind of clean up.
yeah, I figured you were
Yes.
new to the property, so
Yeah, right.
I'm
So-
sure some of this predates you.
It definitely does, yes.
Yeah.
So, cleanup of the property is a priority.
So on your list?
For the new owners, yeah, and we're gonna be working with the town. We'll probably be back in within 30 to 60 days, probably closer to 60 days, with an application to do a lot of the cleanup that you're
Yeah.
asking. So,
Yeah, well, that property has quite a history as far as stressful situations, so anything you can do to improve it, I'm sure will be appreciated. But some things need to be taken care of almost immediately.
noted.
Yeah. Anyone else have any more comments or questions about this particular application? So it's not a hearing. If we could have a motion, we will be listing the actual resources that are on the property with this type of an application. And I think you have almost one of each out there as far as the resources involved. And I would just refer to the most recent plan as the record of what's out there and what we'll be working from going forward.
So are we looking for a standard
A
order?
motion to, this would be, well, this is a different form. I didn't bring my forms, Fran, do you?
I'll
This would be
pull,
Form 4?
sorry,
Would this be Form 4?
I can look, hold on one moment.
I believe Notice of Intent is Form 3 and an abbreviated
Yep.
would be
So
Form
it's
4.
Form 4.
So what would we be looking for to approve it?
Is that a question for me?
No, I was talking
Oh,
to Fran. Sorry about that.
Sorry. Resource area delineation.
I think we might just
Okay,
be-
so there's, the form is called, Order of Resource Area Delineation. And let me pull it up and see what you would be actually issuing.
So I think we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Approve the
So the
plan.
order of delineation, it says the Conservation Commission has determined the following, check whichever is applicable. And there's accurate, modified, or inaccurate. accurate says the boundaries described on the referenced plans above and in the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation are accurately drawn for the following resource areas: bordering vegetated wetlands, other resource areas, specifically blank. So if the commission feels that they are accurate, then we would be checking that box and checking off bordering vegetated wetlands and or adding additional resource areas. So it sounds like, based on the discussion so
Okay.
far, that you would be choosing accurate bordering vegetated wetlands, and then if there are any others, adding that, and we would be checking that off.
Okay,
So how would we put that in the form
we
of a
would
motion?
move that, I believe, did you say the first thing is to list the resources that are,
Yep, so it
Site.
says, so you would be moving to determine that the delineation is accurate and that it is drawn for the following resource areas: bordering vegetated wetlands and any others.
Would we include the floodplain in that too? Or is that separate probably?
You would include it in this vote.
Yeah.
You would say it is accurate and it includes bordering vegetated wetlands and the 100-year floodplain
floodplain,
and any others.
land subject to flooding,
Yeah, bordering land
land
subject to flooding.
underwater. I'll
Yep.
list all of them
Yes,
that are applicable, yeah. And that the plan submitted accurately
Is accurate.
depicts the resources as they appear on the site as of this date.
Yep.
You made that motion.
Yes, I made that motion.
Do I have a second? Okay. No further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the discussion, but we don't get a whole lot of these. Thank you for coming in. You're welcome. Thank you. We heard the next item is the enforcement order that we issued before the last meeting to Vidant Construction. And the site was 92 Townsend Avenue. There were trees and vegetation removed within the floodplain and the buffer zone of a wetland. Good evening.
Good evening. So my name is Ketal Patel. I'm from Vedant Construction, and I have my subcontractor who worked over there. So this property we bought a few years back, and we wanted to do some survey if we can, what kind of use we can do on that. So we were trying to just clean it, and that's all we did. And this truck got stuck, so we were just trying to take it out, that's all.
How you doing, ma'am? My name is JP, and so pretty much when I got hired from them, I saw the property. They wanted to take care of survey, so they can see how far the land will go. So some of the stuff that you see there was nothing removed. I just cut some of the brush, which is front of it, and then the trees that were down already, I just cut them in sections, so they were already dead. We didn't remove anything from the property, and obviously, wasn't expecting, we're disturbing any sort of, wetland or from, anything else like that. But I thought it was his property, didn't figure it would be like this, big, problem, just removing the brush and getting in there. But no trees, nothing were cut. Just, I cut it in sections, the one already dropped. And then when he said, listen, dude, just stop, because, we got this letter and don't do anything yet.
Okay, I would agree that was quite a jungle-like area there with vines and all, the mostly invasives. However, the point is that you began work without coming to us first. And we have to approve any work in a floodplain. And now, the trees that dropped originally, that's Mother Nature. But now you have become involved, and there is a huge pile of debris there. And now it's considered not just nature taking its course, now it's fill in the floodplain. And this is something we're very concerned about. It's taking up space where water could be if the flood comes again. So that particular material, now that you have become involved with it, needs to be taken away and
That was-
dumped somewhere that is not a floodplain and not a wetland. So that's the concern, and you may have taken down some of those vines and shrubs to get to that tree. I can agree the tree was dead, very, very dead.
Yes, ma'am.
But now you've taken down other things in order to get to it. And those things, if they're now dead, need to be taken away. And any further work, you need to come to us with a plan and say, I have, you know, this amount of space, and I have 6 trees, or however it is that you want to talk about your property there, and I would like to do this. And we'll say, well, since it's a floodplain, maybe you can do part of what you want to do and maybe not the other part, or we talk about it.
Sure.
So you can't just go out there and saying, I'm cleaning up, because when things are growing, they're not considered trash or bad things. I mean, they do bad things sometimes, especially those vines, but you know, it's not something that we consider that needs cleaning particularly. So I know you probably want to get rid of invasives, and we like to get rid of invasives too, but we want to know what you want to do, and we want to talk about it.
Sure.
So the game plan is pretty much, so as you see, the pile is there. I was gonna take it, you know, haul it out of there. 'Cause that's what they hired before, kind of clean it out so they can have a land survey. Because they were gonna, you know, planning to sell the property. You know, kind of, they can see from plan A, plan B, you know, how far it will go. And so my idea was removing all of that. So once they got the letter, I obviously couldn't do anything else. I just left it like that. and-
That's exactly right. We want to have a plan. We want to talk about a plan to either fix what's been done or remove what needs to be removed. So that's why you're here, and thank you for coming in.
So next step would be, where can we do the application for, or is there any form that we can fill out? Or what's the next process?
To
We want-
remove that?
Yeah, we want to actually clean that land.
First, we need to fix and take away the enforcement order, and to do that, in my mind anyway, I don't know if anyone wants to add anything, the pile that's sitting there needs to go away, needs to be taken away
Any kind of
off the property.
Permit or anything, because I don't want to touch anything.
So-
unless, you know,
You,
talk to you.
yeah, you can take the pile now
Okay, okay.
without the permit.
Okay, that's what he was.
Yeah.
He was asking what's, you know, any.
And then, once we know that pile's gone, we'll be able to rescind the enforcement order that's on the property.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And I do apologize, seriously, I didn't thought about that, you know.
Yeah, and once that's fixed, then you can come back to us
Okay.
and tell us what you would like to do to the property, what would you like
Okay.
to do next?
Okay.
But they're two separate things. First, we take care of the problem, then you come in and we talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay?
So just for future reference, if you're going to be working within a wetland, especially in Massachusetts, you have to go through the Conservation Commission of the town or the city and let them know what you're going to do before you do it.
So I come from Derry, that's where I'm out of, New Hampshire, obviously the
I'm
laws are huge.
Sure, it's a little
I'm
different.
learning my lesson, you know, obviously, anything, you know, talk to the conservation land and go from there.
Okay.
My thing was just literally thinking, you know, they needed, do a survey, just clean some path, and that was it. But one, they said, don't touch anything, dude, get out, and, we're-
Yeah, the laws are a little different.
Yeah. So I'll take care of that. I'll remove that, and once that's removed, then we'll come and file the right paperwork so we can continue.
So we're gonna continue with the enforcement order until
Right.
that's removed?
I think
Yep.
so, yeah. When you are done taking away what you've cut and what you've moved, then you can just call the office and tell them, and we'll go out and look, and then we'll lift the enforcement order, take that away, and then, when you're ready, you come in with a plan and find out what it is you want to do and if you can do it. You can work with our office about what kind of papers you need for that. And they can help you get the right form, and that will be a different meeting. So I think we don't have any action to take tonight, except to ask you to fix what you've done,
Will do.
and then tell us when you're done removing it, okay?
So I'll start tomorrow pretty much to get rid of it, so.
All righty, okay, all right.
Thank
Well,
you very much. I do
Thank you.
apologize.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you.
coming in.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye. We have some new business. Emergency certificate was issued for Malden Ave. This is the second one out there, is it? So I don't think we rescinded the last one, did we? It's still
We just ratified this.
Yeah, you ratify them.
Right.
ratified.
You don't rescind them, you just ratify them.
But, well, let's wait till this one's done, and then we'll know for sure that we can rescind both of them, so. Do we have a motion on this? This is, the problem here is the breaching of the Beaver Dam again.
So I have a question
Yeah.
regarding all of these breachings of the dams.
Yep.
So when they breach a dam, are they also trapping and killing the beavers, or are they just breaching the dam?
I think they kill the beaver.
I think in the past, we've had specific ones that said to trap beaver, though.
Yeah.
They were, I think
They-
that they were specifically to trap beaver, right?
But
Not just.
then
the
they
breach.
kill them.
But then the breach, I feel like the breach is different, but maybe not.
Yeah. I
Because the
don't-
wording for these recent ones that we've had, all it says is breach the dam. And I think
They've
it should.
always said that. Yeah. We can get more information. I know that,
Because it sounds nice.
I agree.
Sounds like, oh, they're just breaching the dam, but it's not actually what's happening.
It's a portion of what's happening.
Small portion.
What would you like me to do?
I just would like to have better wording about
Okay.
what's actually happening,
Okay,
so the public knows.
okay.
Because it sounds really nice that, oh, they're just breaching the dam,
Mhm.
but little does the public know that they're actually just killing all the beavers.
Okay. Yeah, I think part of the. So, to be honest with this one, I'm not sure. I know in the past, when they've asked, it's been both breaching and then catching and then killing the beavers with previous ones, with our previous DPW commissioner, and they were clear about that. This
Yeah, they always
current-
said trapping.
They've been clearer in the past. Current situation and staffing, I don't get that clarity, and they're difficult to communicate with, and they're not here, even though we asked for them to come. So it's hard. It's hard to answer because
Understandable, yeah.
it's the communication is spotty at best. We're instructed to issue these. So
So what
moving forward, we
department-
can require more information and perhaps like an email or a memo outlining exactly what they're doing so that the emergency certificates are more detailed.
And I know
Okay.
you said you asked them to be here.
I indicated that in the past, Christine Clancy had attended and she was here to answer questions. And then they sort of
Stop doing that.
pushed back and said, I don't think so, and didn't come. And I didn't push the issue.
Because I'd like to talk with them.
Sure,
about it.
yeah. So I can indicate that moving forward, the commission would like them to attend if that's the wish of the commission
I
for follow-up questions. And also provide more detail with the request so that the agenda, not only do they attend, but the agenda is more detailed for people from the public. Because to be honest with this one, I'm not sure if the beaver is being killed. I know in the past, when they've asked, this ask bundled with it is like removing the beaver and killing it. I'm not sure with the.
That's what
this
I
current
just
one.
want clarity
Yeah,
on it.
I completely understand, yeah. So we will both ask them to include a more detailed information so that we can include that in the agenda and it's more informative, number one. And number two, we'll ask them to attend these hearings moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this has already been done. This is all in the past right now. So I'm willing to make a motion to ratify this enforcement order. If anyone else agrees with me.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to ratify the emergency certificate. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Myself. Okay, so that one's ratified, but going forward, I guess we'd like a little more information. I believe the health department can issue these without our help anyway, that it doesn't require the conservation approval as far as I can see. Next, we have an enforcement order issued to Sai Dang 258 Varnum Avenue for 258.1 Varnum Avenue, which is the rear of the property, dumping within the 100-year floodplain. Is there anyone here to represent the homeowner here? Anybody online? This is a house that backs up to the floodplain of Clay Pit Brook. Are you here to represent the? No, just a concerned local citizen had one quick question. Oh, sure. Okay, let me just explain to the public here for a minute. This is a residential property that has quite a large lot, and the edge of this floodplain appears to be defined by a 4-foot-high stone wall that's immediately behind the carriage house or barn on the property. So it's very clear from this where the floodplain is. I don't believe the two buildings on the front lot are in the floodplain, but the rear property is entirely floodplain as far as I can see. Any dumping that's occurring back there appears to be of a long-standing nature. In other words, it doesn't look to be anything recent, most of it, but it obviously is something that is needing to be cleaned up, and certainly is dumping of substances that are not supposed to be dumped on residential property anywhere, never mind in a floodplain, such as mattresses and building materials and things like that. So I'm sorry that no one is here for this property. Would you like to speak? It's not on the subject. You can.
It's a different subject.
Oh, a different subject.
So we can finish with this.
Okay. Would someone like to ratify this, make a motion to ratify?
I'll make a motion to ratify the enforcement order for 258 Varnum.
Okay. Seconded?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Let's try to get the homeowner in for their next meeting. All those in favor of ratifying the enforcement order?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Now, sir, we're at the end of our agenda, essentially, except for the minutes, if you'd like to say a few words. Well, stand up so we can hear you.
State your name and your address for the
Walter
public.
Joseph Hurley, concerned Lowell citizen. My current address is, I get the two numbers mixed up all the time because I move
That's
from
okay.
one to the other. It is 3 River Place. Do I have to state the whole thing? Apartments, oh, wait a minute. 3 River Place,
Oh.
A 2207.
Alpha 22.
Quick question, because I know it'd be maybe easier just to get answered, or you could get back to me. Broken Sharpies, with the tips off them, is there a way to go through that, because they're non-magnetic?
Are you talking about like sharps, like needles, or
Yes.
Sharpie markers?
No,
Sharps.
yes.
So there is a person who works for the city. I believe his name is Andre Gonzalez.
Yes, I know the gentleman. He's one of the only citizens, people working for the city
So
that
yeah, he is
I
the
see
only-
in the street.
He's the only person working for the city right now who cleans up those needles.
But my question is, if there's an area where maybe Sharpies are prevalent, or even not, if the tip is broken off, is there a way to fish through it? If you're going out doing your garden, and some of us like to recycle, you find a Sharpie and the tip's somewhere. Is there a technology to receive, or is it just all hunt and peck?
I do not know. I do cleanups myself, and we usually wear gloves and we use pickers, and that's
I don't think you're going to find, because you pick up the needle, and then if and then the tip's broken off.
oh yeah, that's a needle in a haystack. right
Where
there.
where's the tip? It's non-magnetic. They don't have any way to pick it up,
Yep.
sift through the soil. In some places, like I always tell the children, always wear shoes, no matter what. Always wear shoes. You got the track team over here, and they work out now in the park. I met the track coach. They run all over the city, and well, I can go on. So that will be enough for now. But I'm concerned about they're fixing the new track over there up near the church. It's not my area. And I see the cross-country kids. I was cross-country. And they all got the nice sneakers on. The coach is really nice and everything. But they're running through maybe a high-volume area. They've got the fence around, and they're trying to build a new park. You know where I'm talking about?
I'm not sure which church you're talking about. or-
Is it Elliott?
South Common, you're talking about South?
Yeah, across from the station,
Oh, yeah.
pretty much so.
So you must be talking about the STEM Academy?
Well, yeah, but in general in the city. But I don't want to tie up your valuable time. But there's a fence now going around the track construction there, where they cleared the tents. And I was just wondering, what's the plan? Are they going to leave the fence and then do the whole turf over? Because right now it's pretty secure. I don't know what the chain of command is with that.
I believe I saw that they're having a meeting about the future of that park very soon, what people would like to see, and this sounds like a topic to bring up at that meeting, like how are you going to take care of that problem of those things? And it's been a problem for the last 20 years at least.
It should be something
We used
that,
to do cleanups of that park with the kids from the school there, and it became unsafe to have them go out and do the cleanup, so.
always
I
wear
know it's a
shoes.
problem, but it's not exactly a Conservation Commission problem.
That's a little bit out of our jurisdiction.
Okay, I can sit
But
down
I
now, but I
would-
figured I'd
Look-
just bring that up.
Look for that meeting about the park. It's coming up very soon. Do you know when that is, Fran?
About the park over there? Yes. I can find out what department would it be? The Parks and Recreation, it wouldn't be Parks and Recreation.
No, I think it's the planning and development, because they're redoing that whole field.
Okay, and I've noticed the fence down around the,
I only saw it on Facebook, and I know it must be quite soon.
okay, I don't want
the
to
meeting.
waste your valuable time.
In
Thank you
4
very much.
languages, and they want ideas from the public, so it's a public meeting.
Great, I look forward to it.
Yeah, I hope you can
Thank you.
look that up. Perhaps call City Hall tomorrow and try to find out when it is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for coming in.
We have meeting minutes from our last meeting to approve. Anybody got a motion about the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the 9:13 minutes.
Motion made,
I'll second that motion.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we have a meeting scheduled for 2024. I can't believe it's out so soon.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any comments about the meeting schedule? Or
Looks
can we
good, no.
approve it as?
I think it works good how it is now, so just keep the same schedule.
I assume it's the same as last year, one meeting in the summer months.
And then one in November, one December, right?
November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone have a motion about the schedule for the next year?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 meeting schedule.
Motion to accept the schedule,
I'll second that.
seconded by Kevin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's the end of our agenda, unless Fran has something else for us. We can have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you and good night.